So this is my dad, and his name is Dennis Moore. He's from Middletown, Pennsylvania. What was your first car, and how did you come to choose it?
The first car I bought was a Saturn SL2 in 1993. I just got my first teaching job. I had my first teaching job for a while and saved some money. I wanted to have a car that I could fit in. It wasn't too expensive. They had been rated real well for safety and fuel efficiency. That could fit everything I needed in there. I was coaching football and basketball and track. Yeah, and I went to Harrisburg and bought it.
What color was it?
Red.
Red?
Yeah, dark red.
Cool. How much was the car, and how did you pay for it?
It was, I believe, around $13,000. I had a good down payment, and I took a loan, and I paid it off early.
That's cool.
Yep.
What did you use your car for?
Pretty much driving to work, driving wherever I needed to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What kind of music did you listen to when growing up?
In the 80s?
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of everything. Pretty much whatever was on the radio we listened to, Michael Jackson, Prince, stuff like that. Everything from Van Halen to Billy Joel to James Taylor. I liked a little bit of everything. Rolling Stones, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Springsteen.
Who were your favorite musician bands during this time?
In high school, I liked Billy Joel, James Taylor. I did like a lot of the Motown stuff too, and stuff like Michael Jackson and Prince, things like that.
Yeah.
Let's see what else I listened to. That's about it. Yeah.
I like the Motown stuff too.
Of course.
How did you listen to music?
Ooh, back then we had tapes, cassette tapes. CDs were just coming around when we were in high school.
I like CDs.
Yep, I listened to the radio a lot, more in the car. Even at home, we probably listen to the radio more at home than you do now. But that was probably the main things, tapes and CDs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
What kinds of shows did you watch the most on TV?
In the 80s, early 80s, I liked MASH. That was a good show. I liked Cheers. That was a funny show. Let's see what else. The Cosby Show we all watched. What else did I watch? I remember Hill Street Blues was big when I was a kid. I remember liking that. Saturday Night Live. Family Ties with Michael J. Fox. That was a show we liked. I was even a science geek back then. I liked Nova on PBS. What else?
Why did you like those shows?
Most of them were sitcoms that are funny. I liked Nova because it was sciencey and it was interesting. Yeah, that's about it.
What was your favorite show when you were a teen?
Probably Cheers. Cheers was funny. It was on Thursday nights. I enjoyed watching it with my family. That was funny. Yeah.
What was your favorite character?
Favorite character? Oh my gosh, they were all pretty good. Woody, the guy right behind the bar with Sam, he was funny. Yeah.
That's cool. Where did you grow up, and how did it affect you?
I grew up in Middletown, Pennsylvania. It affected me. It was a blue-collar town that had. I was fortunate to have really good teachers, really good coaches, a nice community. Emily, I was fortunate that we had a really eclectic mix of kids, but I think we were all treated pretty fairly. But really had good mentors. Some of the principals and teachers and coaches were really good for me. Really helped me through, times in middle school, early high school. You're not sure yourself, helped you work through that. Really gave me good programs to be involved.
How are gender roles defined in your community?
There were boys and girls, and that was about it. There wasn't much. If someone was homosexual, no one knew it. There was definitely in Middletown. It was appropriate to be very self-sufficient, to not make excuses. Gender roles, yeah, that I would say we didn't have many guys who were very girly, if that's the word you want to use. Like I think now people are much more open to being who they are. I think it's much healthier now because people don't have to hide things. But back then it was a very blue-collar town. I mean, it was a lot of hardworking people, and if you're a boy, you had to act like a man. If you're a woman, you had to act like a woman, whatever that was. And there wasn't much in between.
How were minorities treated in your community?
I was fortunate. Middletown was Caucasian, a lot of African Americans, some Hispanics. We had a lot of Vietnamese refugees, some other Asians, but it's back when I was there it was very much a melting pot, and plus being athletics, you're dealing with all kinds of kids. So I felt the school was pretty integrated, more than what I've seen at other schools. Now I'm a teacher and going around to places. I think Middletown's still like that. We didn't have a real large Hispanic population. We didn't have a very large Asian population, but we had some kids like that, yeah.
What was it like being a teenager in your era? What did you do for fun?
What was it like being a teenager? You definitely weren't plugged in. Kids today have all these screens they can look at, from video games to cell phones to iPads. We were definitely outside more, doing things outside more. Just the idea of being in the Swatara Creek and doing things in that growing up, being on my bike and able to ride all over my town, all down to Hummelstown, down to High Spire. I mean, we were everywhere on bikes. So it was there was definitely a lot more freedom for kids. Kids are a lot more restricted nowadays. There was a lot more time to just kind of figure out who you were, time to just explore. Some of that's dangerous, you know, when you're out and you're exploring as a kid. But it was healthy for me. Yeah.
What was a date like when you were a teenager?
What was a date like when I was a teenager? A date like, I didn't go on many dates. You may take somebody out to get pizza or something to eat, or go to the movies. They still allow drive-in movie theaters. Up by the Harrisburg Mall, there was a big drive-in theater. I remember going there a couple times. That was about it. There was a dance club called AJ's between Hummelstown and Middletown that kids went to. It was for under 21 kids. I remember going there a couple times, yeah.
What changes have you noticed in teenagers across the decades?
Kids are kids. They got to figure out who they are and what's going on in the world and how they fit in. That's not going to change. But they are, when kids make mistakes today, there's a much better chance that it's going to be videotaped, it's going to be recorded. There's less room for error for kids nowadays because of just the way society is. And things are a little more dangerous these days with different chemicals and drugs that are out there. You know, when I was in high school, heroin was something you heard about in health class. And now there are kids who OD from heroin all over Pennsylvania, York and Hummelstown. I mean, there have been kids who OD from heroin. We never heard anybody actually using it. You heard about it in health class. I think it's healthier in that there are more options for kids. There's for like people your age. You guys definitely are more informed about the world. You're more informed about the choices you have. Probably a lot more informed than we were. You guys are more connected to kids in the districts around you. Like you guys are more connected to kids from Hershey and Lower Dauphin and Middletown or Lebanon or wherever, where we were very isolated. It was Middletown. You were very isolated, even though you interacted a little bit. It wasn't like it is now, where you guys are able to connect and do things together, and you're involved in club sports or dance from all these kids from different schools. Yeah.
That's really cool. Awesome. What kinds of jobs did you have as a teenager?
Jobs, I was really involved in sports, so I was doing 3 sports a year and all those things, so I didn't have a lot of jobs. I worked at an ice cream place in Middletown called Irely's, which is very much like Rainbow Snow in Palmyra. I worked there spring of my senior year and into the summer. I worked for the Middletown School District during the summers. Most summers I was at college, but there were 2 summers where I was home for 6 weeks, and I worked for the Middletown School District.
What did you do?
Cut grass, weed whacked, dug ditches, pretty much any kind of heavy lifting. Me and a couple guys did. Yeah. We had an old Dodge truck that we would load up with anything the school district was getting rid of and drive it to Harrisburg to the recycle place and scrap heap. And, yeah.
That sounds like fun. On average, how much did you earn per hour?
It was, honestly, Emily, it was probably $5 an hour.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if that.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did you spend your money on?
What did I spend my money on? Probably food is the main thing. Food, going to the movies.
What kinds of food did you get?
Pizza, subs. I love J&J's down in Middletown.
Mm-hmm.
Ice cream, or buying ice cream for other people. Yeah, that's about it.
Did you buy stuff for your brothers?
Yeah, I remember I used to buy the milkshakes at Twinkies, and yeah, get them subs at J&J's. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's the last one. Do you have any memories of the Cold War and/or terrorism, and how did it affect you?
I have lots of memories of the Cold War. I think because of how media was in the late 70s, early 80s, you know, from the hostages in Iran to what was going on with Russia, to movies like The Day After, I think we were very in tune to what was going on with the Cold War. Living in Middletown, I was there during TMI accident in 1979, so I remember being evacuated. I remember going down into town and going into Winnebago's and having CT scans and make sure we all didn't have cancer from radiation, which tied right into what would happen if Russia bombed us. So I lived through that. I lived through seeing, or you know, just the constant sense of what are the Russians doing, and because technology wasn't what it is today, Emily, you didn't know as much about other countries. There was a lot of propaganda about the Russians and fear about them and what they could do. So yeah, I think we were all definitely affected by that. And there was definitely, you know, if you look at movies from back then, there was definitely a bias against anyone who was involved in communism. You know, yeah.
Considering the constant concerns of nuclear war and terrorism, how safe did you feel during this time?
Relatively safe. You know, being a kid, most kids are wrapped up in the world around them, and what they're doing, so they don't have the knowledge necessarily of what all could go wrong, but did have a sense that, you know, things could go bad pretty quickly, but I felt pretty safe. Yeah.
What movies were popular when you were a teen?
When I was a teen, what movies were popular? Oh man.
I just did the 80s.
Let me think. I liked some of the movies were like late 70s, early 80s. Guys my age, we liked movies like Animal House and Caddyshack. But other older movies like The Godfather were still popular. I remember going to the movie theater to see things like the Rocky movies. Platoon was a good one. Some funnier ones like Pee-wee's, Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure. I remember we all went to and laughed. What other things?
Did you go
so some other Eddie Murphy movies were funny. A lot of kids went to see. Yeah, all the Star Wars movies, the Star Trek movies. I'm trying to think what other ones were big. The Color Purple.
Really?
I went to see. It was very good. Yeah. A movie called Reds, which was about Russia. I remember seeing in like 8th, 9th grade. Gandhi was a very good movie I went to see.
Who was in The Color Purple?
Color Purple was Whoopi Goldberg,
Okay.
Oprah Winfrey, Danny Glover. Yeah, excellent movie. Yeah.
Because I heard there was a movie, but I didn't know.
Yeah, it's excellent.